By the third freezing night, she had not eaten in 2 days. And the only food left in the whole yard was locked behind something a man had built, on purpose to stop her. She was young. This was her first winter alone. And she weighed less now than she had in the fall, a lot less. You could see it in the way she moved along the top of the fence, slow, careful, testing every step with hands you could not see in the dark. She had a small torn notch in her right ear and a mask paler and narrower than most. If you had a porch light and you were awake at 3 in the morning, you might have called her a pest, a raccoon, a raider. You would have been looking at one of the most capable problem-solving minds that has ever walked through your backyard, and you would not have known it. Tonight, that mind had one job. Open the thing that could not be opened, or don't see the morning. This is the raccoon mind. If you've ever heard something working at your bins long after your lights went out and wondered what it actually was, stay. Every few nights I follow one raccoon, one real life, one real season, told slowly. Quiet science wrapped around a single animal in the dark. Give the channel a subscribe if you want to keep meeting them. And stay to the end of this one, because what she does on the last night of this story genuinely changed the way I lock my own back door. What she works out over the next few minutes, most people sleep straight through. You almost never see it, but it is happening tonight somewhere near you. Let me take you back to the beginning of her, before the cold came. She was born in the spring, high up in the hollow of an old oak at the edge of the yard, one of 4. For those first months, the world was small and warm and crowded. Her mother taught in the only way raccoons teach, by doing, slowly, while the young watched with those restless hands. How to feel along the underside of a log. How to read the pond with your fingers instead of your eyes. How to remember exactly where the good things were. Because that is the strange gift of this animal. A raccoon does not really see the world the way you do. She sees it through her hands. Her front paws are one of the most sensitive touch organs of any mammal on Earth. An enormous share of her brain is devoted to nothing but feeling, to reading texture and shape in total darkness. When she dips those paws in water, she is not washing her food. She is turning the water into a lens. Wet skin reads finer detail. She is looking with her fingers at something you would need light to understand. And she remembers. This is the part people never quite believe. In the yard, there was a shallow koi pond, a fence line, an old tipped metal can behind the shed. She mapped all of it, not once, but into memory that would last for years. Raccoons can hold the solution to a problem for up to 3 years. They remember the routes, they remember the doors, they remember the hands that fed them, and the ones that didn't. By late autumn, her mother was gone, and her siblings had scattered. Natal dispersal, it's called, the season when the young leave to find ground of their own. And she stayed. This yard was the only map she had. The tipped can behind the shed had fed her all fall. An easy latch, a loose lid, a warm smell of leftovers every few nights. It was hers. She had solved it 100 times. And then the man changed the bins. The first cold snap came early that year. The koi pond skinned over with ice. The easy food thinned out, then stopped. And on the night she finally came down hungry to the old tipped can, it was gone. In its place stood something new. A tall green municipal bin, a heavy clip-latch across the lid, and a black bungee cord stretched tight, corner to corner. Raccoon-proof. That's the word printed on bins like that. It is one of the most confident words in the whole hardware store. And in cities across North America, it has quietly started a kind of war. Because the animal it was built to stop is exactly the animal built to solve it. She climbed the bin the first night and simply felt it. That's all. No panic. Front paws moving over the lid, the clip, the cord, the seam. Reading it, the way her mother had taught her to read a log, learning its shape in the dark. Then she climbed down and she left. Most people would call that giving up. It wasn't. It was studying. Researchers who work with these animals have watched this exact thing for 100 years. In one classic set of experiments, raccoons were given a row of complex locks, bolts, latches, levers, plungers. They opened 11 of the 13. And when the scientists turned the locks upside down or rearranged them to break the pattern, the raccoons solved them anyway. On tasks with their hands, they come startlingly close to primates. They don't just fumble at a problem, they take it apart. The second freezing night, she came back. She was lighter now, and the cold was doing the thing cold does to a small animal with no fat left. It was starting to win. In deep winter, a raccoon doesn't truly hibernate. She falls into a heavy torpor, sleeping for days on stored fat, waking in the thaw to feed. But she had no store to sleep on. She had spent it. She could not wait out this cold. She had to open the bin, tonight or soon, or there would be no thaw for her to wake into. So she went back to work. And here is where the trash panda, the raider, the pest, becomes something else entirely. She didn't attack the lid. She went to the cord first, the bungee, the tension holding everything shut. Front paws gripping it, body braced against the rim, head tilted down into the gap, working the hook off its anchor by feel. It slipped. It caught. It slipped again. And then it let go. But the latch was still clipped. And this was the piece the man was proud of. A squeeze and lift clip, two motions at once, the kind of thing a paw isn't supposed to manage. She had felt it the first night. She had felt it the second. Somewhere in that remarkable tactile brain, she was holding the shape of it, turning it over, the way you turn a word you almost remember. Cities, it turns out, may be making these animals smarter. Researchers studying urban raccoons have found that the boldest, most flexible individuals are the ones cracking the raccoon-proof bins, and that the pressure of the city might quietly be selecting for exactly that kind of mind. Every new latch is a test, and a certain kind of raccoon keeps passing it. She squeezed the clip. She lifted, and for a long, cold second, nothing. Then both her paws found the motion at the same time. The clip gave, the lid rose, and a warm, complicated smell of food came up out of the dark and touched her narrow, pale mask like the first heat of the whole winter. She ate that night. She ate the next. The bin that could not be opened fed her straight through the worst of the cold. Because she hadn't beaten it with strength, she'd remembered it. Piece by piece, night by night, until the lock was just another door she knew. And this is the part I keep coming back to. Months later, long after the thaw, long after she'd grown heavy and sure again, a new family moved into that house. They bought the same green bin, the same confident latch. And on the first cold night, something came down off the fence, crossed the yard on soft, silent hands, and opened it on the first try. She hadn't forgotten. She never does. There is a raccoon in your yard tonight. Maybe not this one, but one like her. And while your lights are off and your doors are locked and you are certain the night is empty, she is out there, reading something you built to be unsolvable, holding the shape of it in a mind you were taught to think of as a pest. Most people sleep straight through every second of it. You know now. And the next time you find a set of small, muddy handprints around a bin that's somehow open, or you catch two lowlights in the beam of a flashlight, watching you, patient, you'll know exactly what you're looking at. Not a raider. A mind. One that's probably already learned your latch too. So tell me, has a raccoon ever solved something in your yard you were sure it couldn't? Leave it below. I read every one. And I'll see you in the next one.